Assalamualaikum guys, welcome to Fark Parta Hai. I am Dania Rizwan and I am here with Fatima Hayat and we are going to review the movie Cake through a gender lens. So Fatima, what's the movie generally about?
So the movie represents the Pakistani family dynamic, and you know how like families usually seem picture perfect on the outside, but there's like a lot of drama going on behind the scenes. So this movie basically highlights the relationship, the very tricky relationship between two sisters and how they navigate that basically.
And I also found it really interesting how they touched upon certain cultural issues as well and class differences in the movie. So that was nice as well.
That was a nice surprise. So what part stood out for you the most in the movie?
Okay, to be honest, I feel like there were a lot of very powerful scenes in this movie. But there's this one scene in particular, when the sisters are bonding after the party.
Oh my god, yes.
And they show them they're driving around and they're smoking and they threw eggs at someone's house, which by the way we do not condone smoking or throwing eggs at someone's house.
Okay, but I would just like to add that some people deserve to have egg thrown at their houses, so I'm just gonna leave that there.
That's another topic for another day.
Yeah, okay.
But it was still really interesting how they showed that kind of a bonding for women, because generally in our media they show that guys are able to let loose and just drive around, and the scene took place at midnight in Karachi.
In Karachi,
Karachi, late night, they're two girls, they're driving around, and I really loved that they showed that girls can also bond in such a free and open way.
Yes. So I'll tell you what my favorite part is. You know when the younger sister, she meets up with her ex-boyfriend when she comes back from London after a long time.
Yeah.
So that was like a very awkward meeting also, and I could like feel the awkwardness through the screen, but also like he asks her that you're married and everything, so why don't you have kids and stuff. You know, that's like a very typical question that women get asked, and I really liked her response because she said that I think that having kids is the most selfish thing that you can do. And I remember I was like, wow, yes, this, exactly. And then I paused it and I rewinded it and then I watched it again and I was like, yes, oh my god.
Yeah, I relate to that so much because in Pakistan it seems like women are portrayed, like in gender roles, they're portrayed as they're supposed to want to marry and have kids and everything, and like that's great if that's what somebody wants, but it shouldn't be assigned to a particular gender, like that is your role, you're supposed to want to have kids, you're supposed to want to have a family, because certain people do believe that it is selfish to have kids, and I really like that about the movie as well.
And also I think that the following such a rigid timeline, like all of her friends and stuff, they were like having their 2 or 3 little kids, and they were like making her feel left out that you're 30 and you don't have kids. Like who said that? We're now following such a strict timeline, so yeah, that part was
that's true.
So what would you like to say about the gender roles in this movie?
Okay, well, other than what we just discussed, I really liked how the two main characters were girls themselves, and because it is a movie about certain family issues and everything, they showed that the son moved away and he wasn't the one who was taking care of the parents, even though usually in Pakistani society it's portrayed that the son is supposed to take care of the parents, the son is supposed to be the breadwinner of the family, and the women aren't portrayed like that. But the sister who stayed back, she was the elder daughter, she stayed back, she did not marry, she did not have kids, and she was the breadwinner. She used to go to their village, she would look after the land, and I really loved how in terms of contemporary society they showed that in this movie things can change.
Yeah, I do, and I also like how they highlighted the fact that she was getting the work done outside the house, then she was taking care of her parents, like you said, and then even like the most day-to-day jobs, like bringing the grocery or getting the air conditioner fixed and stuff.
Yeah,
stuff like that isn't really portrayed in Pakistani cinema, so I think like they really did a good job. And also like I don't know if you like that part. Like, obviously I'm sure you did like that part, but it was like very refreshing to see like their house help and their old family friend who was like played who was portrayed as like a Christian male nurse. Because nurses are often like associated as like being like a feminine profession or something, even though they're literally taking care of people. So like I really liked how they portrayed that aspect.
Yeah, and this is where the class difference comes in as well in this movie, because they showed him to be the main love interest
of the older sister.
Yeah, of the older sister, which is really fascinating because they don't really, whenever a class difference is shown in movies, it's not usually shown as the women being on the higher status and the man being on the lower status. And I just found that really interesting as well.
And I love how subtle they kept it. They didn't make the whole forbidden love thing a very
that's true.
big part of it, but it was very sweet to watch.
Yeah, it was based on friendship, which was just such a wholesome thing about
because
the movie.
Isn't that what you want at the end of the day? A solid support when your own siblings are at God knows where.
Yeah, and even the way that the parents are portrayed, it's like the most beautiful of friendships. And I love how the mother is portrayed to be such a free, fun-loving person, and everyone in her family loves her for it. They've shown her interests to be, she loves buying wigs, and she loves dancing and music and makeup and all of that, and they've shown that the husband is just even more affectionate towards
and he's
those
encouraging
things.
her throughout, in all her hobbies and everything, and she's constantly nagging him and everything and making fun of him, and he just takes it in stride and everything, and he's very good natured like that. And I feel like they should portray that more in Pakistani cinema instead of just showing the violent aspects of a husband. They're showing how affectionate one is. So that was very wholesome, that part. Yeah.
So if there's one thing about the movie that you could change, what would that be?
It was a pretty good movie. But if I had to change something, maybe Todu Sa, it would be the viewers usually forget when they're watching the movie that they mention an older sibling, their brother, who moves away for his career and he's married and everything. So I just feel like they could have maybe showed that part a bit more, or highlighted that to show that men can be selfish too. Like, he went and he cared about his career and he left his aging parents behind, but the older sister, she gave up on her culinary dreams. So I mean, was there a discussion on that, or was she just thrown into doing that herself? So I feel like they should have shown that process more, how he got up and left, and where did he get the audacity to do that? Basically.
Yeah, that's true. Personally,
what about you?
I would just love to see more of the wholesome scenes between the parents.
The parents, yeah.
It was funny, it was affectionate, it was just, that would be my ideal. I would love a movie just about them as well. Would love
backstory.
that. Backstory, yeah, how'd they get together? Love that. Okay, and that concludes our discussion on this movie, and we are signing out. Bye.
Bye.